Welcome, everyone, to the Beer Guys Radio Show. Welcome to everyone watching us out there. Facebook, Twitch, Twitter. What's the other one? YouTube?
No.
No, Instagram. We can't.
Oh, we can't.
Won't let us know.
Oh, okay.
No. That's right.
Periscope?
What's that? Periscope, Twitter. Yes.
Okay.
We have Christina Dowd and Rich Colli here with us. Thank you so much. Nate, would you go in and change it so their name tags are on, please? I believe that is in the brand section over there. Scroll all the way down to the bottom. Boom. Look at that.
There we go.
Like magic.
It's
like
official
magic.
now.
Yes,
Right,
it is.
Right. Yes. So we're talking Philly Beer Week. We're going to talk Philly Beer Week this week. We're going to get to recording the show here, but if you're watching the live stream, you have any questions at all for us, for Christina, or for Rich, leave them in the chat, and we'll get back with you as soon as we take a break. We need a beer, don't we? We need a beer.
It'd be cool if we opened one up. Yes.
Okay. Let's get, you know what? That's on the table. So let's go with it. So we tried to get some Philly beers. We had a couple. I know they're not from Philly, but I know they're around Philly. Iron Hill Brewery. Okay. So we got an Iron Hill beer. Philly. Yeah.
Iron Hill's in Philly now. Yep.
Okay. Well. Yeah. And we had Victory on just a few weeks ago. So we've got
we both
we've got some
that
beers
one.
and then good deal. So yeah, that was a good one. So we've got that. And then we have a local brewery that just opened a couple weekends ago, and they were kind enough to hook us up with some crowlers. So we're going to get into. It's called Hawaiian something. It's a sour beer. Hawaiian Islands Variable Conditions.
Yeah,
it sounds exciting.
Variable Conditions, I believe, is the base sour, and the Hawaiian is they have the Mitch Schuss situation going on where they can just add the syrup to it, and they really do it with any beer you want, but they do it mostly with the sours.
Alrighty,
where it's called for.
Gotcha. Thank
the
you,
brewer
sir. Appreciate
poured these growlers for me.
The brewer.
Yeah, he came out. He came out to get to chat with me. Apparently Wednesday is their paperwork day. So
gotcha. Yeah, we just got an Iron Hill here in Atlanta. So
that makes sense. Yes. I know they were trying to do like 22 locations in 22 years. So
we got actually right next to Brian's house, like walking distance there, and walking quote unquote. And I know they've got another one planned. That's I don't remember. Was it Dunwoody?
I think it's technically Dunwoody. Yeah, it's. I think
they've got a couple. They've got a couple planned to come here to Atlanta.
Awesome.
Yeah,
those guys are great.
It's good stuff. Yeah, we had Mark on a month or so ago.
Yes,
so
that's right.
Okay.
Yeah. Coolio. All right, y'all. You ready to rock? Ready to do some radio?
Oh yeah.
All right.
Let's do it.
Open up a tab, grab a seat, and pour a pint. It's time for the Beer Guys Radio Show.
You want free beer? Go to the brewery.
Dedicated to the art, science, and enjoyment of craft beer.
Yo, what's wrong with the beer we got?
Now, here are your hosts, Tim Dennis and Brian Hewitt.
And welcome to the Beer Guys Radio Show. We're broadcasting from the Beer Guys Radio Studios in Marietta, Georgia. And this week we're talking Philly Beer Week with Philly Loves Beer and Varga Bar. I'm Tim Dennis, and with me as always is my good friend and co-host, Brian Hewitt.
Hey, Tim. Joining us today, we have Christina Dowd, the Executive Director of Philly Loves Beer, and Rich Colli, the owner of Varga Bar, a participant in Philly Beer Week. As you said, we are going to talk about Philly Beer Week and what it's all about, how it's been so successful, and we'll probably touch on some consumer beer literacy and maybe even some weird beer. Guys, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having us. This is great.
Absolutely. It's good to have you. You. Brian really made it was a big sacrifice for Brian to do this show tonight. Brian got stuck in a garage.
I did, yes.
Just before the show. So his the door refused to open at his condo building, and he was just stuck in a garage there. So
push button stuff is neat until the push button stops working. And there's just nothing that'll open it up. I'm like, it's like when the Wi-Fi goes out, you can't turn on your lights anymore. It's fantastic.
It's terrible, isn't it? You actually have to flip switches and that.
Yeah. If you even remember how to do it or where they even are.
Yes. Well, Christina, we're getting into some beers here. What are you drinking? I see you enjoying a beer there.
Yeah, I'm drinking a Love City Deep Cut Pilsner. There we go.
Okay.
So Love City is in the Loft District. They call themselves the Eraserhead District, I believe. But yeah, fairly new, a few years old.
Okay. Actually, the founder and head brewer is from Iron Hill.
Oh, how about that?
Oh, I didn't
Very
know that
cool.
about Kevin.
Yeah.
Iron Hill
Hill,
has spun off a lot of breweries.
I'm also drinking a former Iron Hill brewer as well.
Okay.
2SP Delco Lager.
There we go. We've talked before. I'd love to see just the pedigree of some breweries. Like here in Atlanta, Sweetwater and Terrapin are the two that so many breweries have spun off. There was I forget who it was, but someone was married to a girl from Colombia, and he was down in Medellin, and there's a brewery there, and he goes in and checks it out, and the brewer's from Sweetwater. Like he was one of the first three employees at Sweetwater. And he's got a brewery in Medellin, Colombia now.
They're just all over the place. Just that's
awesome.
where you go. I mean, they're big. They make a lot of beer, and a lot of people move through there. So it's kind of cool.
I bet they do some weird beers in Colombia, don't you think?
Oh yeah, I'll bet they do. I bet
you know, speaking of weird beers, Brian, I wish I had a time machine and I could go back like a month and uninvite Backpaddle Brewing on the show for what they have done to craft beer. So you ready to hear about this?
Okay, let's hear about
y'all
this.
ready for this? Are you ready? I'm going to tell you the name of the beer or the style, and you just let me get your thought. Hot dog water goza.
No, pass.
See? Right? So this beer is a smoked wheat ale with mustard seeds and quote unquote dry hopped with sun-dried tomatoes. Then it is dosed with a defatted hot dog water reduction. So there's legit hot dog water in this beer.
Was this an idea we gave them on the show?
You know, I think we talked about it. I don't remember if it was our idea or if he's like, oh, you know, I've talked about crazy beers.
Is
but
marijuana legal where they're?
It's not. No, it doesn't mean they're not enjoying it there.
I was just asking.
Yeah.
We did have a local brewery do a hot dog beer here with like a Sheets, you know, like we have Wawa and Sheets. I don't know if you guys know what that is.
Yes.
Yeah, it was Neshaminy Creek Brewing, I believe, and they did a hot dog beer with them.
Okay.
I did not try it. Yeah, right. I didn't try it. So
they've got 1/6 of it, and he said there's no tasters. If you're going to drink it, you got to commit to a full glass. So that's it. Yeah,
that tells you something. It's like no tasters. Like that means that people would never buy it if they got the.
That's right. He's like, if you're going to do this, you're going to do it. True. Don't come in here half-hearted.
I'm man enough to commit to that full pint. If only they were nearby, I would try it. I would try it.
Out of pure self-torture, I want to try it.
Sun-dried tomatoes, Tim. As you recall, I did pioneer.
I do know that.
That's homebrew with the sun-dried tomatoes in it, and that was good.
Okay,
yes.
Yeah. Christina, what is the strangest beer you have had or you have tried?
You know, actually, I was in Maine, and I can't remember the name. It was like a fermentary type place. And I had a gazpacho beer, and I got to be honest, it was spot on. It truly tasted like gazpacho.
Okay.
The beer part, I don't know about, but
yeah.
And it was like I had like a shot glass worth. You know, I don't even know if I made it a taster. It was like, wow. I mean, it was the name. It did it, and then I was like, I'm cool.
Yeah. That's it. You're like, I'm good. That shot glass was plenty. I'm good.
Yeah.
Rich, how about you? What's the strangest one you've had?
I'm going to say we actually had it on tap here. It was a 6-point beer, I believe. It was a smoked sour beer, a Lichtenheiner, I believe it's a style.
Okay. All right.
Which I'm sure there's a reason that maybe that's the only one I've ever seen.
Right. Yeah.
The people who it was 50-50. Either people thought it was the thing that they never wanted to put in their mouth again, or they had multiple pours of it. So
we
had it on during beer week, and I just remember for me, I was maybe on the side of didn't care for it much.
Yeah.
I would certainly try the style again because, I mean, that was very interesting.
So we tried one here that one of our friends brought in to share with us. He had gone to Iceland. And I'm not going to say the name right, but it's like Havler or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Havler.
But it was, I think, like a simple lager with sheep dung smoked whale testicles.
Woo!
Yes.
They
for real.
Weird
it might have been an amber. I don't remember.
Yeah. And you know, when we got the beer, it was past its prime and it tasted a little oxidized. But in all honesty, it was just a little smoky and briny.
Yeah.
And so that was it. So
I would love to see the guy who like tries to present that to his boss.
Right. But in Iceland, how weird is that? Is that like,
I
Not
mean,
weird.
it's not
Yeah.
weird because they eat like fermented shark. That's like
Yeah.
just
That's
you
right.
know, it's like a delicacy there. So
a surströmming beer? And that would be lutefisk, I think.
Lutefisk, yeah,
Lutefisk
yeah.
or surströmming. You mentioned your gazpacho beer. Brian is notorious for his sun-dried tomato and basil goza that he made one time.
oh, okay.
And it actually paired really nicely with pizza. And it was kind of like you said, Christina, people either loved it or I think, Rich, you said people either loved it or they never wanted to see it again.
It was actually
So,
Saison. It's because its name was Johnny Saison.
yeah.
Yeah.
And we had one friend that told us, he's like, I think you guys absolutely nailed what you're going for, and I never want to drink it again. So we're like, all right, that's fair. That's fair.
Well, Tim, I think at this point we need to get into the beers of the week.
You got it.
Now it's time for our Beers of the Week. Brought to you by The Nest, craft beer and barbecue in downtown Kennesaw, Georgia. TheNestKennesaw.com.
Well, Brian, as always, we got a nice list of beers to get into here. Of course, we had to have a couple Philly beers, but Steve and Pete and the Pete family recently opened Kettle Rock Brewing, and he usually stops in to join us for the live stream of the show. Check it out. We have a Kettle Rock Hawaiian Islands variable condition sour that we're going to get into. Right now, we are drinking Iron Hill Chewy Northeast IPA, and we've got a Victory Brotherly Love from our show a few weeks ago.
Okay.
Little Philly beer there, so we're ready to Philly
Yeah.
up here. We're ready for it.
Yeah.
So that's it, Brian. That's the bit. We've got some more in the fridge, but those are the three we have on deck right now.
We got big crowlers and big growlers, so it's ample beer.
It is ample beer. So, Brian, how about a quick little tidbit of news for us?
What's in the news? The beer guys have the scoop.
Extra, extra, read all about it.
Time for headlines.
Well, really quick, we talked about it last week, and it's still dominating the news. The fallout of the accusations of sexism and discrimination have continued this week. We heard about them last week at Hill Farmstead, Tired Hands, Modern Times, Connecticut Valley, and since then, more news has come out about Evil Genius, Lord Hobo, Night Shift, Burial Beer Company, Notch Brewing, and even the Cicerone certification program. They fired somebody or laid somebody off there.
Okay.
That's just to name a few. That's not even close to all of them. Locally to us in the Atlanta area, we've heard about Scofflaw, we've heard about New. We even heard some stuff about Three Taverns, which may or may not be legitimate. We don't know. Interestingly, though, Brian Allen, whose Instagram account is where all this began, works as a brewer and production manager for Notch Brewing, which is one of the brewery's names. So it's no indication if what happened there inspired her use of this, but it is pretty interesting. And if you would like to read more about all of the accounts that are happening out there, like 1,000 of them, check her Instagram account at Rat Magnet. So
Right. And
yeah.
I don't know if she has shared, but there's actually an alternate account that they're using to share some stories because she just got overloaded.
Oh, okay.
So, but I'm sure if you look at, do you happen to know, Christina, what that alternate account is?
I don't know what it is, but there's 2 accounts that are helping out now.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I can look it up, but yeah, I don't know offhand.
Gotcha. Okay. This one. Okay. Hold on. It is called Embolden Act Advance.
Oh, that's
is
right. I
is
do remember seeing that. Yeah.
So they've got quite a few on their stories there to share that.
So hundreds of breweries.
Yes,
Yep.
absolutely. Well, you're listening to the Beer Guys Radio Show. We do need to take a break, but we'll be back very soon to talk more Philly Beer Week. There we go. Cool.
All right. Do you have any comments on the feed? Okay,
Christina or Rich, have either of you tried the various hop waters or hop teas that are out there? Like Hoplark is one brand that.
I haven't, but I saw you guys. That was a couple episodes ago.
Yeah, wasn't
Yeah.
too long ago. We got one. They did a batch with experimental hops, and they were kind enough. We haven't even tried it yet, but you know what? If you like hops and you're there and you're at your desk working and you can't have a beer, then this is a good one.
It's not bad. The Sabro, is it just hop water? The
I think
Sabro one?
Yeah,
That
yeah.
one's great.
It's
That's
good.
like a little coconutty. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
It's I'm not sure if I wouldn't think of it as necessarily a beer replacement, but I enjoy drinking it. So
Yeah.
you want something fizzy and you want something with hop flavor? There you go, man.
Well, Christina and Rich, you're both full-time in the beer business, so there's not really a time you're at your desk and can't have a beer, right?
Probably not.
I mean, I'm
That's
technically
part
at
of
my
it.
desk right now, but
See? Exactly. Yeah.
My desk is a bar.
Right. I've got a huge desk there.
Yeah,
just
the
a
standing
huge
desk.
sometimes I work at in his office actually.
Okay.
So.
That's it. Co-working spaces, man. It's the new rage there. You got to do it. Yeah, I am a recruiter by trade, so my day job is strapped behind the home office desk, putting people to work, I'm building out the 5G network, or our people are anyhow. So
That sounds important.
yeah, we were going to make jokes about, line up for your vaccinations in 5G, stuff like that. I talked to a candidate for one of our jobs the other day, and he mentioned that he ran into somebody that found out what he did and was very upset with him that he was installing the 5G. He was not a fan of that at all.
Oh, is it one of those people that thinks all the radio waves and tinfoil hat things
He
like
was
that?
not having it. Was not.
I mean, we're all vaxxed. I'm waiting for Bill Gates to come through as your special guest. So
Come on in. Bring it.
That's right.
Yeah. My day job, one of our branch offices is King of Prussia. So we've we've got some folks up that way. We've got a good grouping of people in the Philadelphia area.
All right,
yeah, good stuff. Well, cool. Well, let's get right back into it then.
all right.
Follow the Beer Guys on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Your revolution is over, Mr. Lebowski. Condolences, the bomb's lost.
Now, back to the Beer Guys radio show.
Welcome back to the Beer Guys Radio Show. Remember, all episodes are available on demand. So if you missed the broadcast, get the podcast. Beer Guys Radio is available on all popular and unpopular podcasting apps. Now let's get back to Philly Beer Week and Philly Loves Beer and Varga Bar.
That's a lot of stuff.
That's a lot of
cool stuff. So, Christina, the first question, which came first, Philly Loves Beer or Philly Beer Week?
By far, Philly Beer Week.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
There we go.
So Philly Beer Week's in its 14th year. So.
All right. It is America's largest and oldest beer week. Is that a true statement?
That is a true statement. I haven't heard differently, so we'll roll with it. Yeah.
Yep. No one's refuted it.
So beer weeks have only been around for 14.
In
been
this
around for 50 years. Oh,
yeah. In this country.
Figure Ben Franklin started it up, right?
I would have thought so. I mean, it seems like something he would do.
The last time I was in Philly, I imagine it's a regular occurrence, but I was pretty stoked. I actually saw Ben Franklin walking around, downtown. So I saw him down
We used
there.
to have a couple of them. I think we're down to one now.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of Philly's pretzels. I like that you can get them anywhere. The Philly soft pretzels, like they're just vendors down there. It's
I don't know why we don't have them everywhere. We don't have them down here. Those soft pretzels. I'll eat them anytime, honestly,
It's
anytime for any reason.
the water. That's like New York's pizza. They got the water to make it good. It's the water for the Philly pretzels, huh?
It's true. I've heard if you try to make it here with our water, it just disintegrates.
Just tear it up.
It just can't happen.
Chattahoochee water.
Yeah, it's probably that's dangerous.
It is. Well, Christina, how did Philly Loves Beer get started? How old is Philly Loves Beer?
Philly Loves Beer is going on its 6th year. 6 and a half, I'll go with.
6 and a half-ish? Okay.
Yeah. We did it. Yeah, that makes sense because we had our 10-year anniversary. I'm doing the math right. Math is my weakest, but yeah. So Philly Loves Beer, 6 years. Philly Beer Week, 14 years. A lot of growing and growing pains since then, but it's a real thing.
Sure. And what's the mission of Philly Loves Beer?
Essentially, we are a marketing arm for local breweries and bars and restaurants and venues carrying beer. We celebrate beer from all over the place. If you're familiar with drinking here, we get a lot of awesome breweries coming in on tap. We also dip into beer education, and we love to throw parties.
That sounds like a pretty noble mission to me there. Yeah.
I don't have a bad job, let me tell you. So.
Right. Yeah, there's worse places to be, huh? Yeah. Now, Rich, if I think I saw correctly, Varga Bar has been around a while, but you just purchased it recently. Is that correct?
I did. Yep. We've been we just celebrated our 12-year anniversary. I've been here for all of them, but I bought in the middle of the pandemic.
Good time. That's a good move.
Was
man.
it at a discount?
You know what?
I hope
That
it was a good
shows
price.
that shows faith.
Yeah.
That shows faith and believing in what you got there. So
We'll roll with that.
yeah, go with that. That sounds good. Right.
Well executed
Now,
plan.
I don't know how many people are familiar with your artwork is Vargas. Is that correct?
So the idea behind it when the previous owner opened was he wanted to do all-American craft beers. So we were the all-American girl, pinups, back in the day. And we did we haven't yet this year. Maybe it's still on hold from next year, but we've always done a pinup calendar, and the photographers rotate. So it's local photographers, local girls who want to do it. We throw a big party, and the proceeds go to they have been in the past, go to the USO because it was such a military-based kind of thing with the pinup girl. But yeah, I mean, we had to postpone last year because of COVID, and this year we're just getting things up and running. And the whole point is to empower the women who are in it. So to throw a big party is the goal. So that's why it hasn't happened this year again.
Gotcha. Okay.
Still under restrictions, some restrictions here in Philly.
Yeah.
I had a deck of Vargas cards that my mother gave to me, belonged to my grandmother, and split up with a girlfriend and moved out. And in between all of that, they just disappeared. So, but I had a really nice deck of the Vargas cards that they're cool. Have you seen those? Are you familiar with them?
I'm actually not familiar with them. No,
Yeah.
I didn't get the reference at all. I don't know how I've missed this.
So,
So if you look behind me on the ceiling,
I did notice that. Yeah.
It's a local artist rendition of specific Alberto Vargas pinup girls.
okay. Do you have any authentic Vargas in there? Do you dipped in to get any of those?
We have 2 paintings in each of the bathrooms.
Okay.
But they're still on the wall, so I can't imagine they're real. No one's taking them.
I was going to say that's a dangerous place.
It's like that's an interesting place to put something that might be really valuable.
Yeah, we had a bar here where someone stole a Fish poster from the band Fish from the bathroom, and it was apparently from a rare concert and very near and dear to the heart of the brewer, and so that caused quite a kerfuffle. So
yeah, I would imagine. So how did has Vargas been the bar been involved with Philly Beer Week right along, or is this new for you to get involved? Or
so when we opened and we had missed Beer Week for that year, but the year after we were certainly in. It's like Christina said, it's great because I mean the focus for us is American beer, so it fits right in with that. But it's also you get to throw some ridiculous parties. We've had some of the best brewers in the world and this country to come and make it a point to come to Philly Beer Week. So it's like you get people like Sam from Dogfish Head, you get Adam Avery, you get like these guys that we did an event with Jim Cook from Sam Adams when
he's fun.
It was like 35 people, and we just did like a little barbecue, and he just talked about beer.
Yeah,
we got that kind of stuff.
So people outside of Philly can participate. Can they just set up there, or I mean, obviously they don't have venues there. They set up their own events, or do they have to collaborate to be involved, or how does that work?
I mean, basically so Beer Works, I'm sure as you know, we have the reps on the ground, and for breweries in Philly or outside of Philly, they still have reps in Philly. So they will set up events like directly with Varga, or Rich will say, I'm going to feature this brewery one night. And then, like you said, he'll try to get the brewers in, people coming in, and that'll be the event, So yeah, anybody can get on. And luckily, like I said, the bars in Philly are always looking to get awesome beers in. So, and Beer Week is a huge draw. So we can usually get the people who make the beer in there with them.
So this is something that maybe one of you two will know, because I've always wondered this and never got a clear answer. I know that Russian River, like Pliny the Elder, is like in California and Philly.
I'm drinking it right now.
See?
Oh, no.
I'm drinking a blind pig.
How did you guys get the special treatment to get those Russian River treats over there?
Well, I'll be honest. I mean, as a person who's worked in a bar and now own a bar, there's a lot of people that came before me and they're still around that did a lot of really great and heavy lifting for me.
Okay,
a lot
there
of
you
the
go.
legwork. So there's relationships that have been built with, for instance, someone like Tom Peters over at Monk's that the rest of us really just benefit off of. And,
That's it.
It's incredible. It's great.
Respect the elders, right?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
you got to. We talk about that in Georgia beer because just over the last few years, our laws have improved to the point where our brewers can actually sell beer. 4 years ago, they couldn't do that. Sell beer from the brewery. And we look at like Spike from Terrapin, Spike and John from Terrapin, or Sweetwater. All these breweries that they fought through it where all you could do was give a tour and a tasting, and you had to go through distro and you had to do all of this.
Yeah.
And they're the ones that laid that groundwork and fought for 25 years. Mm-hmm. So breweries could sell beer at a brewery. And, we went from like 40 breweries in like 2017 to 115 or so in the state now, so we've still got some growing room, but it's really done great things for our craft beer industry here. So.
Oh, for sure.
Fun fact about Russian River and pre-COVID, we were actually going to do a collab. So what we do every year is have a big raffle, and we pick one local brewery, and then we go to another hosting brewery. We usually go to Belgium. And this year we decided to go to Russian River. And so sadly it was canceled, and I believe it would have been the first year we made an IPA. We always make Belgian style beers as like our special collab beer for Beer Week, but we were going to make an IPA with Russian River.
Yeah. So did you still get a special beer out? Did you go with a local brewery or something for the beer?
We did not. Okay.
Okay.
No.
Gotcha. All right.
Either go all in or just
that's
don't.
right. If it's not going to happen, we'll just go with what
it's interesting that you go Belgian. Who have you had from Belgium in the past for these collaborations?
You name them.
De La Seine. I was going to say you name them.
Yeah.
We were just at Duvel 2 years ago.
Cool.
Branda beer. They make Petrus.
Oh yeah.
And then some like real small ones too. So I'd have to check that list. There's probably a bunch of things I don't understand as well. Or
the Philly Beer Week lambic with Cantillon.
Yeah, the Cantillon lambic.
Oh, right.
See, good stuff. Well, you're listening to the Beer Guys.
We also get.
We're gonna need to take a break real quick, Rich. We'll get back on this in just a minute. You're listening to the Beer Guys Radio Show. We do have to take a break, but we'll be back soon with more Philly Beer Week. Sorry about that, Rich. The clock got us.
Radio clock.
Stinking clocks.
I was just going to brag because we also get Cantillon in Philly.
See,
theoretically we do too.
Are they still distributing after the Shelton stuff? Do they have someone else?
I mean, we haven't seen it yet. I mean,
that's what I was afraid of.
Yeah, we'll see.
I think theoretically we were supposed to get them as well, but I don't know that aside from going to like the brick store or something like that.
They were on shelves here.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you ever
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, Bridge had them at Sprayberry.
Oh,
Hop City had them.
Ever walked in and saw Cantillon?
Well, you didn't walk in.
Fontaine.
They would say they had them, and they were gone.
Okay.
So,
you said on shelves. I'm like, I that's what my point was. Is
shelves.
Theoretically, they were in state, but I never physically saw them unless I went to a special beer bar and paid a little extra for it.
So we lost those for a few years when they did the Westy 12 distro in the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
And I still don't know the full story of it, but people didn't like the way they rolled that out here. I think they gave an exclusive to Total Wine, and all these craft shops got upset, whatever had happened, Dan Shelton did not care for the way they were treated. And he's like, all right,
pulled out.
We're out. We're out. So, and then distribution laws here, I think it's 4 years maybe in Georgia that you have to stay out before you can come back in with another distributor.
I think I may still have that special Westy drop.
Yeah. So they were out, I think, 4 years, and they came back when they came back with a bang because Shelton Fest was here the first year they came back. So
I went to the last Shelton Fest.
Buffalo?
Yeah.
Is that where it was?
Yep.
Yeah.
And sadly they're now gone. Yeah.
That one surprised me. Because I know how big their portfolio was and how well respected.
Very specific.
Yeah. I know anything can happen there. So
seriously, that surprised me as well. I couldn't.
Yeah, you can grab that, man.
Let's do that.
You know what I figure will happen there? I think eventually we will get someone's going to pick up Dre Fontaine and Cantillon if they can. They're going to get it, but there may be some of the little smaller brands the little boutique brands that will just disappear from American shelves.
That Belgian
altogether.
I like so much, the Slapmutski.
Oh yeah,
the Belgian Christmas one.
Good.
Yeah, I bought up all of them that I could find. It was such a weird name. It's actually a pretty good Belgian Christmas beer. I really like that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
never heard of them before that. And it's just, I like stuff like that. I like that they had the little unusual things that I'd never heard of and you'd probably never see anywhere else.
Yeah.
So
when we come back in, Christina, we're going to talk with you, or both of you actually, about what it takes to make a successful beer week. You know, what the keys are to having a rocking and rolling beer week. Sir, please don't take beer across the laptop.
Not across the laptop, sir.
I'll thump you in the shin with a pen. Yeah, here. If you hit it just right, it'll hurt, man. It's right on that bone.
Here's the thing. It's the
bone.
joke's on you. He enjoys that.
Yeah. Stinking Nate.
Thank you, sir. May I have another?
Yes. No.
No, you may not. You
not.
enjoyed that far too much. Okay, there we go. There you go.
Have y'all been to Atlanta and enjoyed our beer scene?
I've been to
I've
Atlanta.
but I have not.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't done it up.
Yeah.
No.
I was
If
like
it's been more-
16.
Okay. Yeah, if it's been more than about 5 years, then
Yeah.
5 to 7 years, I think it's a different beast than it was.
Even at
you
5
know,
years,
so.
you're kind of
You're right
you
on
know?
the fringe there.
Yeah.
So I know we started having some uptick like 2014. So
Yeah. Oh, it
Yeah.
definitely grew a lot every year, but it didn't.
I'm sure those
It's in-
laws, like you said, I'm sure that really.
it did.
Oh, absolutely.
It did. They passed it kind of in 2 phases where just the weirdest stuff, man. The first time they passed the law, they still couldn't sell beer. Y'all catch this, is a true story. But they could sell you a tour package that included free souvenir beer.
Yeah.
So that's the way they got away with it, is they didn't want it to be a sale. So
I've heard that move before. I might have
Yeah.
even pulled it, back in the day. Like, I'm not going to sell you a beer. I'm going to sell you this golden ticket.
right.
And then
Yeah.
you
A
can
blind
go get a
tiger,
beer.
right?
Yeah.
Come see my blind tiger. So
Do you guys have a beer week? Did you?
we don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
Christina.
Oh,
We
I
don't
bet a
wanna
lot
talk
of
about it.
I bet a lot of cities say that actually.
Yeah,
That's-
we have relaunched, and killed our beer week a few times.
We had a fortnight, Tim.
We did have a fortnight. We had a beer fortnight that, you know what? Discrepancies. This one, they tried to do it where they did it by region of the city, like events here and there. Certain regions were not happy that they didn't get this day or that day. There was kind of the divided house on when the beer week should be. There's a Georgia Beer Day, and there should have been a Georgia Beer Week. The simplest answer right now is probably to say no. We don't really have a beer week.
It's been
Yes.
attempted numerous times.
Yeah, it's been tough. We've tried it, and it just I've been to Tampa's Beer Week. I've been out to Denver for GABF. We just can't. This house full of kids, we can't get it together. We just argue here. So
It's not easy. It's a lot of moving parts to get it
Yeah.
together. So
we
I
need
get
an
that.
Atlanta loves beer. That's what we
That's
need.
right.
Yeah. If it's not taken, grab it now.
I should.
You-
Well, great. I said it on the
Yeah.
stream now.
Yeah,
So
wow.
go, Daddy.
Someone's
Register
already
now,
got
May. Yeah. Do you franchise, Christina? Maybe you should, huh?
It's funny.
Chapter.
You're not the first that asked us that. We
Yeah.
have been asked that, like the formula. I don't know what the formula is. I think Rich and I come visit you. We see what's up.
Right.
And
What's
that,
up? What's
that
up?
could be what you sell.
Let's go eat and drink. We'll go to the Porter Beer Bar. We'll go to Brick Store Pub. We'll have to stop by Variant.
Yeah.
We'll go to
Yeah.
Halfway Crooks for some crispy boys in the beer garden. So we'll
Oh,
do that.
nice.
So
Yeah.
they did a couple weeks ago. They did Czech beer days down there, and they did a
Oh, I like that.
3.9% Czech pills, and they had a delegate from the Czech consulate
Yes.
that actually came in and kind of opened the event
Oh,
and
I
stuff.
love that.
So
That's cool.
yeah, it was pretty dope. So the
And they hold the Kolsch service before that, which
Kolsch service,
I liked
they
even
did.
more than the other one. Well, they
Yeah.
were both really good, but that Kolsch service is awesome.
The brew. one
This
of
is
the
an awesome idea. We should do it for
Yeah.
Beer Week.
It's good. Yeah,
Kolsch
absolutely.
service, man. Oh,
I tell you, so what are they?
yes.
20 centiliter?
20 centiliter glasses. They just keep bringing them around. It's fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my
That's
god.
the way all. I want every place,
Yep.
like church,
Yeah.
McDonald's, every place should be like that. You get little 20 centiliters, and they just
Just
keep
keep
filling up.
bringing just
Yeah.
cold and fresh, 20 centiliters at a time.
Just keep checking the coaster.
And because of our interesting beer laws, I think they had to, and I think probably COVID worked into that a little bit, but they had,
Yeah.
you would pre-buy the number of,
Right,
like,
the rounds.
check
It
marks
was like
you
5
get.
at a time.
but I mean, if it was legit, they would just keep marking on a coaster the the more times you have them come around, and you just pay at the end. So
Was there a maximum you could buy?
not
We
really.
didn't hit a max,
Yeah.
so I'll just say that.
Perfect,
We
perfect.
did not.
For
so.
us, no, but for other people,
Yeah.
maybe. I don't know.
Ask him for a friend. I mean,
Yeah.
Right. I'm just curious. Just
Like all my
checking the
friends.
facts here. Yeah. No, I enjoy stuff like that, man. The call
Yeah.
service, the check beer days,
yeah,
just
that sounds great.
hanging out, having the nice drinkable beers.
Oh yeah.
Excuse me?
Oh, there is.
Oh, there is this. Been enjoying the live stream. Thanks, Keith. We appreciate it, man. Glad that you're enjoying the live streams. We're enjoying doing them as well. So we appreciate you stopping
Cheers, man.
by there. Yeah, let us know what you're drinking. If you're enjoying a beer now, tell us all about it.
All right.
I got to get some of this sour in my glass, and then we'll get back on the radio here. Christina, have you moved on to new and exciting beers over there? Or you?
You know what's funny? I've obviously tried tons of beers, and I am like a Pilsner, Kolsch,
Okay.
lager type of gal. I like
All right.
very traditional beers, but I'll try anything, like gazpacho beer. I'll give it a go.
Like a hot,
Give it a shot.
Fair enough.
Like, I don't know about the hot dog beer, but I mean, yes, I would definitely try it.
But have
Sure,
you?
you kind of got to.
Yeah, you do. But have you moved on to another beer tonight?
Oh, I did it just because what's right here, and I feel like I can't leave. Right, that's the deal. I wanted
That's
to ask,
cool.
like,
Yeah.
what that situation was.
If you do need to take a break, you need to get a beer, need to, take a little rest break, we're totally cool with that. We'll just stay here and
Okay.
keep drinking. So yeah.
All right.
I'll send somebody over right now from the bar.
Oh, perfect.
There you go.
There you
That's
go.
the best Kolsch service ever. Just run right over, right?
Have him sit there with
Yeah.
a pitcher and a little folded towel over his arm.
That's it. Top
Yeah,
it
Rich
off.
and I
Top it
were
off.
in Cologne when 2 years ago. No, a little bit more. Big group of
Maybe
us
2
went.
years ago?
Yeah,
Okay.
big group of us went because we were going to Duvel, but we flew into Amsterdam and then went to Cologne, and we were like, oh yeah, gotta do that. What a great city.
See,
That
I've got to
was-
do some of that international beer travel.
Yeah.
Yeah, that might have been the best beer I've ever drank in my life. The specific time we were at Gaffel, that Gaffel Kolsch was the best beer I've ever consumed as a person.
See,
That's
that
high
day.
praise. I'm
That
booking
day.
right there.
Hold on, I'm booking a flight now.
I mean, you
Head
can
to
write it off.
TripAdvisor now.
Something.
Probably.
It is, yes,
Actually,
you can,
yes.
yeah.
I think I could. I think I
We've
could-
done that a few times. It's just been domestic so far. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Let us know. I'm itching to go back.
All right.
So.
There we go. We'll do it up.
I will say, be careful of how much Cantillon you put in your luggage. They do check on the way home.
They
They
check.
definitely check on the way home. How
That's a
heavy
lot
your
of beer.
suitcase is.
See, it's like, how does he have a suitcase that weighs this much?
I
Oh.
actually
There was nothing else in it, I don't think. I think I
See?
just threw my
Yes.
clothes
You
away.
did. You,
right?
you put I think you kind of
Yeah.
did though.
No, that wasn't a joke. I left things places.
I was going to
That's
say
great.
the same thing. I have made a trip to Europe one time. It wasn't specifically for beer, but I wound up leaving things behind that I thought, well, this is not as valuable as
Yeah.
these beers I'm bringing home in this suitcase, and I wrapped them all up. I did not have a problem, but I didn't attempt to bring back.
Like wedding ring, it's been nice knowing you,
Yes,
but you're gonna have to
it's
stay
gone.
here. So,
It's like I don't need all that underwear. In fact, I don't really need any at all. Just
any,
Yeah.
Especially if you have enough beers, you won't be wearing them anyhow.
it's
So,
right. That's right.
yeah. Cool. All right, y'all, ready to get back into it?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Follow the Beer Guys on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Boy, that escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
Now, back to the Beer Guys radio show.
Welcome back to the Beer Guys Radio Show. I want to give a quick shout out to one of our great radio affiliates, WWDC HD2 104.7 FM and 101.1 FM in Washington, D.C. Catch Beer Guys Radio on WWDC every Saturday at 5 p.m. Now let's get back to Philly Beer Week and Varga Bar.
Philly Beer Wake, huh?
Wake, yes.
Okay.
That's
All
right.
right,
Well,
Brian.
you know what? That's what happens after beer week. You drink too much, you have a Philly Beer Wake.
That makes
I'm
sense.
going to grab
makes
that
sense.
website as well.
Grab that up.
Go for the typos there.
That's a
Go for the
BGR
typos.
idea right there. It's an
That's it.
accidental idea, but it's a bad idea, and somebody can run with it.
We're very proud of our track record of giving bad ideas
Yeah,
on every show.
I've heard some of them. I love them.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
We
you very
appreciate
much.
that.
It should be
Yes.
another event too. Like,
Yes.
people would like to have, like, you got to go out with beer. So
Yes.
There's an actual official event that has been the closing event of Beer Week for the past, like, I don't even know how many years. It's called the TUD.
The TUD.
Okay.
The total unnecessary drink.
That I get you. I get you there.
It's the
Yeah.
last night of Beer Week, and you shouldn't even be out, let alone drinking at that point. And it's
You feel a little proud and a little embarrassed for the people that show up to that event. You know,
It's
I mean,
almost
Rich and I are always there.
Yeah.
I don't-
see, okay.
it's almost exclusively industry people. Almost.
Right.
No one else
Yeah.
ever shows up because they have no idea how fun it is.
So you
Yeah.
attack on the 11th day, and that's Philly Beer Wake. Just after
The 11th
Yeah.
day.
The 11th day.
Yes.
It's not even on the
Okay.
week, really. It's something else, you know.
Yeah, well, that's one thing Brian noted earlier. Is like you call it a beer week, but it's
That's
10 days, so you're already out of pocket right out of the gate there. So-
Have you been to Philly? We we say one thing, but then, like, watch out. So
I just learned a Philly word recently. Oh my gosh, jawn.
Yeah.
yeah.
Jawn. It means like this thing here or something like that. Is that
No,
right?
You're
It
incorrect.
means anything.
Anything.
Anything. Just
Anything.
This is
What
a
is it,
John.
John?
This is a John. Look at that John over there.
look at this John here.
You're a John. I'm a
Yeah,
John.
yeah.
Okay.
We're all
okay.
Just get that John trimmed up. What's going
Yeah.
on? Yeah.
I saw an Instagram account. I think it's called Sam Boners, and these guys do sandwich reviews. Like they go hoagie reviews, and they go around and they're like, check out this John right here. I was like, what is this? So I had to Google and find out what that was.
Was there a
And
definition for John?
I think it said it can mean literally anything. It's like
yeah.
it can be this thing, that thing, or whatever. So, and I watched a few more videos, and they may use it. I saw one guy, like he made a gravy sandwich, and he called it a John, and this other guy. So it's a Philly thing.
Philadelphia is basically a Smurf village because they just say
John.
John instead of Smurf.
Like,
Right?
I guess
Isn't that
so.
the whole
Johns.
thing?
Yeah.
John,
Oh.
all you
It's
Johns
like
up there.
Aloha. It's like Aloha.
Okay. All right.
It's the city of brotherly Johns.
That's beautiful.
Brotherly Johns.
So tell us more about Philly John Week. So Christina, what does it take? Because we talked a little bit on break here that Atlanta struggled with their beer week. We've struggled to have a good, cohesive beer week. We tried a fortnight that incorporated some other cities. We have good little brewing centers in Athens and Savannah, Georgia, but we just couldn't make it click right. So what's the key to a successful beer week?
Dedicated industry, like the bars and restaurants and venues. That's what truly makes beer week. It takes a village. Truly, it takes the entire city. And that's what's super cool. And I think that's why Philly is so strong in that sense, because everybody does something for it. I'm just the coordinator of, which isn't the easiest job, especially
Sure.
post-COVID. It's just me right now.
Mhm.
But yeah, the bars and restaurants are fantastic. They're super jazzed to always do it. They look forward to it. And obviously, and we hope this is true this year, it's a great moneymaker. Get people out. We always try to encourage people, like, you don't have to know a ton about beer. Just come out and drink.
I actually encouraged someone today that is not, he drinks beer, but he's like an Amstel Light guy. And I mentioned, Philly beer. He lives in Philadelphia. So I said, are you going out to Philly Beer Week? He said, when is that? And I was like, it's coming up, man. Pay attention. I told him this show was going to be about Philly Beer Week. So shout out to Patrick. Go out and drink some Philly beer, man.
Go drink some
Have a
beer,
good
man.
time with it.
See you at Varga.
See, that's right. See you at Varga.
So is it with the? I think probably the problem we may have had here is we had an organizing people that try to mandate what was going to happen. I get the feeling with Philly Loves Beer that you kind of just let people say, "Hey, we're doing this," and then you just say, "All right, great, we're going to help." Promote that. Is that kind of it? Is it just let people do what they want to do in a given period of time? Just say, "Hey, we're doing this week. What do you want to do?" Or is
basically, I'll explain it from my point of view, and then Rich can tell you how he kind of runs his. But so Philly Loves Beer and Philly Beer Week usually kicks off with a ginormous event called Opening Tap, and it's about 70 breweries. We keep that one local usually, and then it's about 1,500 people. It's an indoor event, so it will not be happening this year.
Gotcha.
And that's how it's kicked off. And so like Philly Loves Beer runs that event, and then we'll have a few other events that are specific to Philly Loves Beer. Like we do Art on Beer, which is different beer and can arts and labels and things like that. And we'll pick 6 different breweries and we'll do a panel forum kind of discussion. So we have some marquee events, but then, places like Varga will just be like, here's the 10 things I'm doing.
Okay. That could be it. This is our beer week. What do you got going on?
Because we tried to introduce, or not we, but over here we try to introduce structure, like certain days, certain regions, and I think there's been other attempts to control the thing. I think you got to let people participate the way they want to participate. That's kind of the feeling I'm getting. That might be what they're doing right that we haven't in the past historically done well here.
Okay.
Theoretically, just
right,
my
Brian.
thoughts, Tim.
Throwing your thoughts out there.
It's easier for Rich to tell me what he wants to do versus me like, hey, how about this brewery? How about that brewery? Like he knows way better than I would.
Yeah, that's a good
Do
point.
breweries or venues, do they pay to be promoted as part of Philly Beer Week?
So in the past, we were membership based, back when life was good. It's getting there again. But obviously when industry was like booming, we decided to do a membership structure with levels. And it worked out again because you were year round with us. So it'd be what you're doing during beer week, but we'd be going to your events and we would be promoting them all year round.
That makes sense.
This year, obviously we cannot charge breweries and restaurants to be in. So we're just doing our best with the little money we have. And we're still going to pull it off, but it's a little different.
I think Rich's idea, if you want to survive this, Christina, I think you need to buy a bar.
There you go.
I think that's the plan there. So yeah.
I got a COVID cat. That's where I'm at. So.
Okay. And Christina, one thing I think is kind of key is you're with Philly Loves Beer full time. How much time do you personally spend coordinating and promoting the festival or the beer week?
So probably now, normally about this time, I would have about 5 other people working with me. So this year is very strange. But we start, like Opening Tap itself is such a large event that we have to start planning very early. We've already locked down the venue. We're at the Fillmore in Philadelphia. So we've had a contract with them 2020, 21, 22. And so now we've pushed it. It'll start 22, 23, 24 type of thing. I gotcha.
Okay. Yeah.
So from an article I read about this that you were quoted in, you said that the events should engage, entertain, and educate the people that are involved in it. What's an example of an event that does all of those things?
Ooh, Rich, do you have any events that do all those things? How about the Pajama Jammy Jam?
Well, we have this event that we've been doing that we're going to do another one, and it's called the Producers.
Okay.
So what we do is the intent is to talk to the people who directly produce the beer. It's not just pigeonholed to that. We can do some distillers down the line, but right now we've been just doing breweries. So it's the head brewer, it's the owner, the founder, whoever has that direct link to the creation of that beer. And we kind of limit it to, at this point, like between 12 and 20 tickets. It's been virtual because it started during this past year. So you get to geek out and ask the nerdiest questions you want. You also get me and my general manager just kind of being the opposite of that. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the movie The Producers, but it was supposed to fail.
Okay.
Yes, I think I have seen that.
So
yes.
When we're shotgunning our second or third Twisted Tea, we're kind of the questions get loose and it's fun. But it's also still engaging. You still have you have these guys who are responsible for it, and because it's so intimate, you still get to people just get to ask random questions or the creation of their brewery or another beer.
Sure.
It's really cool. They walk us through like a tasting of 4 or 5 beers, so you get to hear what they say about those specific beers and why they selected them for us.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Well, you're listening
really
to the Beer Guys Radio Show. We do need to take another break, but we'll be back very soon with more Philly Beer Week.
I want to do that. I want to just go to an event with the somebody from a big prestigious brewery, and everybody just get loaded throughout the
Just
night
be
and
silly.
just asking the dumbest questions.
It's what it is. It's so fun.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah.
We have,
You know,
we have lined up, I think for July, we get, so this one during Beer Week, we're going to do a Mainstay, which is a local brewery. Because we wanted to keep we wanted to focus a little bit more on local than we have in the past, because we can't do a lot of the events we would normally do. They're all based on packing the place and like getting as many people. So we kind of we had to pivot a little bit. But yeah, so this one we have Mainstay, and then the next one we get the awesome opportunity to talk to Phil Markowski from Two Roads. And then I think the next one or the following one, we get to talk to Eric Wallace of Left Hand. Like, it's just incredible who's agreed to some of these things. And it's also relationships we've had built with their reps or the breweries over the years. It's really cool that I can't believe when people say yes, to be honest.
Well, see, that's kind of the racket we've got going with our show here. You know, we've had, we had Dan Shelton on.
Yeah.
Yep.
We had Tommy Arthur recently. Talked to Tommy Arthur. You know, we've had
Travis Rupp was pretty
Travis
cool.
Rupp from Avery, the beer archaeologist. We've had Daniel Carey from New
Carey.
Glarus, you know.
Yep.
And, you know, Mitch Steele and Stan Hieronymus, they're local guys here now. So,
Yeah. Well, Stan's
moving to Denver,
Yeah.
but, you know, Mitch is here, Stan's
Bart
here.
Watson from the
Bart Watson from the BA has been on.
and
so,
Bruce
yeah.
Watson from Foreigner.
And Bruce Watson from Foreigner. That's right. That's right. Yeah.
And Tim Very was in studio from Manchester Orchestra.
Yeah. So, we get what you're saying, man.
We get
That's
some
like I said,
interesting
so cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It
cool.
is. It is. It's part of our racket here as we,
That's
we
right.
drink beer and talk to amazingly cool people.
Yeah.
So,
Indeed.
And
It's a great situation. What was that?
Oh no, I was just going to touch on that hot dog gozo, which I completely forgot that So there's an after hours bar that is only open to industry people. You have to show a pay stub to get in.
okay.
I guess most people do. But so in order for it to be legal, they would have a crock pot of hot dogs in the back corner. And so it's. I mean, Anthony Bourdain did his layover show, I think, in Philly, and like talks about it. It's amongst people who go, like, you don't touch them. Like, it's not
Okay.
This is not a buffet.
You just know that these are there to. I got you.
These are edible, but in quotes. Edible.
Yeah, I don't know.
Edible.
I love the guys who work there. And I'm never gonna eat them.
It's
So
like it's like a perpetual stew. You just keep adding more liquid and hot dogs, and
It adds flavor, I bet.
the ones.
The Forever Dogs.
What is
The
it,
ones
the
on the
Solera?
bottom have been there since the 80s.
It's hot dog Solera.
Hot dog Solera. Yeah.
Hot dog Solera. Well, my night is made. This
That's
is the
it,
greatest
man.
thing I've
That's
ever heard.
it.
Well, that's
And
why
close.
I wanted to bring this up for your bad idea part, because I think it's a great
See?
idea, and I'm in on these bad ideas. I guess I'm
Now we got to let Back Paddle know, because their hot dog goes is actually weak now that we've invented the
That's
Solera.
right. We've got a whole Solera. I don't even know what you're talking about.
It's a whole program, yeah.
And the crock pot should actually be a good temperature for lacto. So
It should be, right? Yeah.
We should be set. And it's essentially a cask. You can tap it right into the crock pot.
Mm-hmm. I guess you just need to make sure the filter is so good that it doesn't get hot dogs caught up in it.
Blues mustard beer.
You could do
Side by side, a chaser of Oscar Blues mustard beer.
sidecar of Oscar Blues mustard beer.
You
I'm
might
sure
as
there's a
well
bunch
throw
of.
a pickle beer in there as well, then, right?
Well, I mean, I feel like
you're right.
There are some pickle
Hot
goses out
dog.
there.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
I
There's
feel
plenty.
like
Yeah.
if you're wearing one of those helmets that has the two things on the side, you could get both beers at the same
Ooh.
time.
Oh my gosh, we're gonna need an extra holster. We're gonna because we got.
Yeah.
That could
We
be a
got pickle,
contest.
we got mustard, and
Yeah.
then we got the hot dog.
Well, that's we talked to
Solera.
Oscar
then-
Blues.
And then you have to finish it off like in this contest where they drink it as fast as they can, and then you have to like pound a pastry stout for dessert.
Oh my God.
That sounds
Y'all,
great. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is probably the greatest bad idea we've ever had. So it's
My
really rocking.
stomach is turning right now.
See?
Is this going to be
Success.
an event at next Philly Beer Week or this Philly?
I'll
Beer
go
Week?
out on
Which
a limb
one?
and I'll host you guys if you come out for next
There we go, man. There we go.
All right.
We'll get it.
That's
You
gonna
know,
be exciting.
we talked to Oscar Blues last week, and we had
Mm-hmm.
Juice on talking about, and he
What a
lets,
great name for a brewer.
right? He's got it
Juice.
nailed there. So, and he mentioned that they're getting a slushy machine at the Colorado tap room. And anyhow, the conversation went on to pastry stout slushies.
Yep.
And I'm like, I'm down for that. And they're like, it's basically a Frappuccino. And so
Yes.
that's what you have to slam at the end of the hot dog cuvee.
Oh my gosh.
Can you deal with your own brain freeze?
As
Yeah.
brain freeze plus
That's it.
whatever it does to your stomach, it's a double
Oh my
whammy.
gosh. This
Double whammy.
And the regret of all of it.
Well, I will say
is
that
right.
we have 2 hospitals within like 2.5 blocks of us. So
Oh, there you go.
We're
You're
good to
good.
go.
Good.
as well.
We're
Yeah.
safe.
Yeah.
We're
Take your
safe.
head to one, take your stomach to the other. They'll fix,
And they're
they'll
good,
fix you up.
yeah.
You'll be fine.
And we know because of the shootings around here that the police get here fast, police and ambulance.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, that's true. They do
so
get
we'd
here
be
fast.
okay if
Yeah,
something
we'd be
happened in
fine.
the studio.
Yes,
So,
we would be. I think they're just waiting around the corner, honestly, because
They're
of
just
this
waiting.
area. Yeah.
just waiting.
Just waiting for it to happen.
Well, y'all, we are about to go into the last segment. Is there anything that we haven't mentioned that we need to make sure we cover here?
No.
I can't. No.
Cool.
Have your
Alrighty.
will.
You got it. Brian, what do you see on there that you still want to make
Well,
sure
we could
about?
talk about the code of conduct and
Code of conduct, okay.
how it's
All right.
affected them because it is big news.
Okay.
You know.
Cool. Let's
Yeah, we could do that. I think that's
let me mark my place so I can see what I had said here. Okay. Cool. All right. I think we're ready. We'll talk about that some and then kind of just, discuss maybe some of the prime events and, how people can keep up with what's going on and all of that.
Okay.
So,
Oh, we
Cool.
didn't get to the one about the questions being submitted
what?
on the backside there. It's about weird beer. Or have we done weird enough already?
We've covered. I don't think we can fit it in
Okay.
where we
probably
are
not.
here at
Probably
this
not.
point.
And,
Yeah.
all right.
You missed your chance. You were
I
too,
did.
too busy talking Solaris.
You got to shoot your shot, man.
That's
That's
it, man.
right. I got excited about the Solera. Hot dog Soleras excite me. I
Hot
lost my
dog.
mind.
There we go.
Do we want
Okay.
another beer? Are we good? We good?
Yes.
I'm good right now. If you want if you need to crack another one, then you do that.
I got beer in front of me. I can do that.
It's our last session. Come on, grab a
Yeah.
beer.
We had someone use our studio as a conference room before us, and they left beer in here.
Oh.
So
Smart.
we're gonna get that. Our studio is inside of a brewery, so we've
Oh, okay.
That's awesome.
yeah, we're partnered with a local brewery here. So we've got what used to be their conference room is now our studio, and still occasionally has to become their conference room.
Yes,
So,
indeed.
What a
We
cool
got it worked
idea.
out. Yeah,
Conference room / party room.
works out well. Coolio. All right, Brian, you ready?
I'm good. Let's do it.
Nate.
Follow the Beer Guys on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Now, back to the Beer Guys Radio Show.
Shake it back!
Welcome back to the Beer Guys Radio Show. If you enjoy the show, please consider supporting us on Patreon. Just go to patreon.com/Beer Guys. Patrons get cool perks like Beer Guys swag and commercial-free episodes. Now let's get back to Philly Beer Week and Vargas Bar. Varga Bar.
Varga.
Bar.
Vargas is the artist.
Vargas is the artist.
Vargas
Yes.
the bar.
I'm sorry, Varga Bar. Yes.
Okay. Christina, we want to talk to you a little bit about, as we mentioned in our news segment earlier in the show, and we talked about on last week's show, there's a huge reckoning in craft beer right now with issues of sexism, racism, just inequality. And Philly Loves Beer was impacted by some of the recent accusations or stories that were shared there. Can you tell us about what's changed at Philly Loves Beer and what's going to change?
Yeah, I mean, I want to say that obviously, as a woman in the industry, I feel like this was a long time coming. We all knew it. These issues had to be addressed. And I'm happy for a lot of things that came out of COVID. So what was also interesting is that when you kind of start looking for like, okay, what's out there already? Like, what can we kind of follow, code of conduct or guidelines and things like that? There's not a lot out there right now. So we acted pretty quick in that the Philly Loves Beer board got together and created a code of conduct and also event guidelines. We knew we wanted to do it before Philly Beer Week. But we got it done. Everybody worked over the weekend and we got it done in a handful of days. So it's on our website now and you can download those as well. We want everyone participating in Philly Beer Week to know what we're expecting of their events. And we also feel like these materials will be really good if you want, you should have code of conducts in your bars and your breweries. You should know what to do as well. So it's not just Philly Beer Week. This is a good thing for you to have as a business.
Is there anything that you can think of off the top of your head that, you know what, I'm going to put myself out there and say that there's something I know I have done. I've been at breweries and I've been hanging out with my friends and I'll be talking with someone and talking with the lady, female employee of the brewery, and someone will say she's a brewer. And I know for a fact that I've went, before. Like, I'm surprised. I do not mean it disrespectful in the least. I don't mean to, but I know that with the challenges that women face in the brewing industry, it can be taken as, why are you surprised I'm a brewer there? Are there other intangibles or things that maybe you don't realize that you can think of that are something to keep an eye out for?
I don't know. And Rich, chime in if you can think of something specific. But you're right. It is just like that little surprise. I think a really annoying one to me is when a server or bartender tries to then explain the beer to me. I haven't asked. I've just ordered it straight out. Like, that's a sour beer, right? Like, yeah, no, I'm good.
I got this,
that's
right?
An annoying one. Yeah.
One of our owners, the company that owns Beer Guys Radio, one of our owners is female, Becky Smalls. She's, but there was a local beer bar restaurant here that said, anytime any of you are in the area, please stop by. We'd love to see you. She reached out and said she was in the area. She stopped in, her and her boyfriend, and she asked, can I speak to so-and-so, the manager there? And he came over to the table and immediately started talking to her boyfriend. And she even said, I'm with, Beer Guys Radio and that. And he's like, oh, okay. And went back to talking to the boyfriend, and Becky knows as much, if not more, about beer than anybody.
She's a home brewer. She knows her stuff.
She brews. And, that was one thing she's expressed her frustrations with that in the beer industry recently, that it's just, trying to go out there and just even something as simple as trying to order a beer and someone trying to explain it to you.
I mean, there's certainly people who deserve to be called out for things that they've done or what they're over the course of time. I think one of the good things is it's bringing awareness to, like you said, you didn't realize that you may be saying something that might be slightly offensive. Like, I think it's bringing awareness to people, myself included, that you maybe you can introspectively look and say, wow, okay, this is on me as well. So I think there's some good things that can come about it from that aspect as well.
Sure. And that's because there's certain big things we all know are wrong. Even the people that are doing them know they're wrong at the time.
100%. 100%.
But there's stuff that, that I'll look back on and be like, I didn't mean that way.
That could have been taken.
That could have been
way.
offensive.
Yeah.
Sure. That could have been offensive.
Not intended, but it's something that maybe you've picked up over time, maybe over the many years you've been alive. Things were different in the past. They're different now. And, it affects how you behave.
Yeah. Well, Christina, thanks for talking about it, sharing what Philly Loves Beer is doing, and we're hoping the industry as a whole can move forward, get better.
Be a good human being. You can do it. It's the little things that are harder. Yeah, like changing that. There are women brewers. Like, I'm a woman who runs a beer organization. Like,
sure,
But I mean, sadly, we're learning that they're just there's a lot of really creepy people.
Unfortunately,
be a better human, just
sure. And on the flip side of that, I have tried to be positive, or we have, to have female brewers, minority brewers, everybody on our show, so the things that I think about, we try to do the best we can. It's the things that I sometimes don't think of.
Right.
That I can slip up on.
Yeah. So all you can do is be mindful of it moving forward, right?
Sure.
Absolutely. Try to do better each time. So something I saw in the course of looking into this, there's a safe bar certification. What is this? What is a safe bar?
Rich, I know you looked into it. Did you want to explain that more?
Yeah, so it's a program that this company, I'm not sure if they're local to Philly or if there's a branch in
this
Philly.
one. Yeah.
War. But they'll come and they'll go over possible scenarios. They'll go over things you need to focus on, things you need to kind of pick up on, cues that maybe you'd miss, to kind of make sure that everyone who is a customer and employee, everyone is safe and everyone feels safe. So it's something that I think a lot of us can do. There's a few bars that did it already, and there's a bunch more that are going to do it. I'm sure of it, myself included. We're looking to see how we can get them here to kind of go over the training whenever they have. I'm sure they're inundated now because people are aware that they need to do these trainings.
Yeah, they're a small nonprofit, so.
Yeah, yep. So yeah, that's kind of what it is. It kind of helps. It'll help us, as a white male, pick up on things that I may have never noticed before. That maybe someone's given me that cue that I never picked up on.
Sure. Yeah. Just like we were saying here, sometimes it may not be meant, but that way. But that doesn't mean it's not offensive to someone.
It's true. So what are some things, do you guys have some ideas on some things that all venues can do to ensure that they're both safe and inclusive to all people who want to go there and have a good time?
Well, I think that you should know who's working there, I think it's important to know who the staff is. So if there is a problem, you kind of know who to talk to. That's especially important at events. That's probably more specifically what I can speak to, that the people running the events, they should be identifiable. They should know all the safety procedures if anything happens inside. And then if someone wants to report any kind of harassment or anything to you, that's handled correctly as well. And that's kind of the stuff that we go over in our guidelines.
There's also, third-party companies that can either be present at these events or, can help with smaller companies so that no one has to report to anyone that they might not feel comfortable around, and that's what these companies do as well.
Yeah. Because I know that's a corporate beer, craft beer, whatever it is. That's always a big concern with people is retaliation, or something.
And unfortunately, especially in smaller environments where they don't have any structure in place, that happens. You get
it does.
Yeah.
Well, y'all, we've got a little bit of time left here. Christina, what is the event of Philly Beer Week you do not want to miss? We're asking you to pick your favorite child here, aren't we?
Yeah. It's not going to happen. I can tell you that. All right.
Rich is like, I got this. Yeah.
I'll let Rich go.
There's an event that, of course, we host, but
yeah, of course.
It's called the Philly Golden Pretzels.
Oh,
and it's
basically
man.
It's basically an award show. It started when we had the World Beer Cup here, and we've been running with it a couple times a year, or a couple times since then. So basically, it's I spray paint some pretzels, put them on some string. They're given out as souvenir awards. You come dressed up in gold, however you'd like. You don't have to. This year I got gold masks, so if people want to be socially distanced and wear them. But it's pretty much, we kind of have a good time at everyone's expense in the room. And for some reason over the years, they love it.
I feel like I hear Macklemore playing at this event.
We can do that.
I'll reach out.
This year? Yeah.
Make that happen.
I think so.
Yeah, I would say that this year is also cool because we're going to have a mix of virtual and in-person events. So, even you can tune in. We're doing like a love letter to loggers. That's just you can log on and join us. There are a lot of like lager fests this year and cool stuff like that.
We're going to one in a couple weeks. Yes,
we are.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Lots of like street fest. Like, there are some street festivals going on, big concerts and like lots and things like that.
Yeah. Good deal. And Rich, we heard at the event at your place this year, premiering for the first time, is the hot dog water Solera. Is that a true statement?
Yeah. Can you say that live? Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. This is a secret.
You will be winning an award, just so you know.
There we go. All right. Good stuff. Well,
that could be an award right there.
Yeah.
We could title it that award,
Well, Christina, if people want to keep up with what all is going on during Philly Beer Week, where do they go to do that?
So obviously the easiest place is phillylovesbeer.org, and check out our calendar, which will grow tremendously over the next week. And Instagram and social media and all that good stuff we're very active on.
Awesome. Sounds good. Rich, Christina, thank you so much for joining us. We really
Thanks
appreciate
for having
it.
us.
Absolutely.
Thanks. Great time. Cheers.
Well, that about wraps it up for this episode of the Beer Guys Radio Show. Join us next week as we talk to BJ's Brewhouse. For more craft beer info, make sure to follow us online. We are Beer Guys Radio on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great week, and don't forget to drink local. Cheers. Clear. There
Success.
we go. We did it.
We did this.
Looks like we made it. So I was telling you about the fella that.
Yeah.
All right. There you go. Thug life.
All right.
There you go. There you go.
Look at this John over here.
This is his after.
Yeah, check it.
This is for the after talk.
This is the after party. So the fella that I work with on my day job, I think it's a friend of a friend, owns Warwick Farms Brewing.
Okay, yeah.
So yeah,
Awesome.
and he said he wants to get me some of their beer, but I just saw they won one of the CMBA awards for their marketing, one of their bottle designs.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I actually think Memphis Tap Room here is having an event with them.
Yeah, yep.
I think I saw that
right.
actually. Now that you mention, I think I saw something there. Yeah. Well,
A number of these marketing awards came out. The Kodo and CM. What was it?
the
CM?
CBMA is the ones I saw.
Okay. There's been two recently.
Yeah.
Well, no, the other one was Trends, wasn't it? One's Trends and one's awards for
Trends and
marketing.
awards. Gotcha.
Yeah. Anyway, it must be that time of year, I guess.
Yeah. Well, Christina, Rich, the show will play on our radio station Saturday and Sunday of this week. Podcast goes out midnight Saturday. I will send over a link. When we get it, we'd love for you guys to share it around.
Yeah, of course.
Definitely.
So,
Awesome.
timing's good for people listening to stuff about Philly Beer Week. So we'll
Yeah.
try and get it in as many ears as possible. Anything else for us before we wrap up here?
Nah, appreciate you
No,
guys having us.
yeah, and you
Okay.
should definitely come out.
I
Let us
need to
know.
get back. I need to get back to Philly. It's been too
Yeah.
long. I'd love to get up there.
That wasn't
so.
a joke. If you guys, it'll be it's the same week every year. If you guys come out in
Okay.
2022, I'll host you guys for an event.
Thank you so much, man. We
Yeah.
appreciate it. Well, we need to get that on the count. I really need to do an entire Northeast tour. We have a station in Burlington, Vermont. Then that's our
Oh,
biggest.
so you can just travel up and
Yeah, they're our biggest market outside of Atlanta.
And Von
Burlington
Trapp-
is.
Yeah, I was
Von
gonna say,
Trapp
go there
promised to
first
host
and
us
bring
too
us
at some
beer.
point. Yeah.
That's right. Go
Yeah,
up and then
maybe.
come back down for that, right? Yeah. Good stuff. Well, y'all, thank you again. Have a
Thanks,
great
guys.
night. Have a great beer week. We appreciate it.
Happy birthday,
cool.
Christina.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Happy birthday,
thanks,
Christina.
Happy birthday.
Thanks,
Cheers,
everybody.
y'all. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.